So good to come your way today. My name hasn't changed. It's still Inuarata no Sahai, and I feel so excited and passionate to come and add value to your day. Now, our conversation this morning is on the subject 5 killer phrases that destroy customers' loyalty and how to avoid them. 5 killer phrases that destroy customers' loyalty and how to avoid them. Now, killer phrases are rude, uncivil, barbaric words or phrases that, customers are not, palatable with. Their customers don't find, comfortable at all. Killer phrases are those words that, you see business people use, staff use those killer phrases, and, even market women as well. When you go to the market, you are buying something, probably the woman told you that the price of this commodity is, let's say, 800 naira. And in a bid to negotiate, you are pricing it for 400 naira. The next thing you are hearing is a phrase that you find very rude, very offensive, and you don't just want to hear it again. And this morning, from a more professional, structured angle, we are looking at it. 5 killer phrases that destroy customers' loyalty and how to avoid them. Like I said, killer phrases are words that customers perceive as rude, uncivil, barbaric, unprofessional, and it makes them don't want to come back for repeated patronage. So the first killer phrase we'll be looking at this morning is when a customer comes around to make some findings, in your workplace, in your organization, and the next thing the customer is hearing from the staff the customer met is, I am not in that session, or I am not in that department. You see, the customer did not come to see a department. The customer did not come to see a session. The customer came to see the organization. The customer came to see the business. The customer came to see the enterprise. And meeting you is the customer meeting a representative or a brand ambassador of that company or organization. And so you owe the system, the organization, the duty to make sure that the customer is well attended to. Even if what the customer wants did not actually fall within the purview, of your department or session, you owe the system, the organization, that duty to make sure that the customer is directed appropriately. This is so important. Like I said, the customer did not come to see a department. The customer did not come to see a session. The customer came to see that business. The customer came to see that organization. And you are a representative, an ambassador of that organization, and you must ensure that you avoid that killer phrase of, this is not my department, or that is not in my session, that is not in my department. You see some employees, some workers, you meet them probably writing or operating the computer, and when the customer is making such an inquiry, as far as that inquiry does not, directly relate to their department or their session, they will still be operating the computer and just tell you, that's not my department, that's not my session, without even raising their head or lifting up their head to see the customer's face and then see how they can direct the customer appropriately. The phrase, that is not my department, that is not my session, is a killer phrase, and it kills customers' loyalty. When you release such uncivil, rude phrases to customers, they may not want to come back. And the reason they will keep coming back despite that kind of killer phrase is because they've not seen a better alternative. And I call that kind of loyalty pseudo loyalty. A situation whereby customers keep patronizing you despite their displeasure with you just because they've not seen a better alternative. That is pseudo loyalty. It's false loyalty. It's shadow loyalty. The second killer phrase we are looking at this morning is when somebody comes around to an organization, to a system, and the thing you are hearing from an employee that you met there is that my colleague that attended to you the last time is on 3 weeks vacation, which commences today, and so you need to come back 3 weeks time. This kind of phrase is actually a serious killer phrase. It's very annoying. You are telling the customer that the system is not organized. A situation whereby because somebody has gone on vacation, things are now put on hold, speaks volume of a dying system, speaks volume of a system that is not organized, speaks volume of a system that is not properly structured. speaks volume of a system, that doesn't really, take their customers serious. My colleague that attended to you has gone on 3 weeks vacation, which commences today, and you have to come back 3 weeks time. When I need that issue to be urgently attended to, so I can move to the next phase, probably in my business, in my career, any other thing I'm pursuing. This is a killer phrase that kills customers' loyalty, and it must be avoided. It speaks volume of a dying system. Speaks serious volume of a dying system. Just because one person is on leave, just because one person is on vacation, things will no longer work as usual. You look at that. Think about it as an employee. Think about it as a manager. Think about it as a CEO. It speaks volume of a system that is not well structured, that is not well organized. And such phrases must be avoided. You need to make sure that you put things in place that when person A goes on vacation or goes on a sick leave or goes on maternity leave, there must be someone to deputize for that person so that you can, project positive impression of yourself, of your brand to customers, and the customer will always see you as a reliable, organization or system to deal with, and they will want to always return back for back-end transaction for repeated patronage. This is so key. Very important. The third killer phrase we are looking at this morning is, there is nothing we can do. You are telling a customer over an issue that there is nothing we can do. This is a killer phrase, a very big one, a very big killer phrase, telling the customer that there is nothing you can do, there is nothing we can do. You are just telling the customer that, you are not a problem-solving organization. You are not a problem-solving organization. Now, the reason why every business and organization exists is to solve problems for customers, and customers pay you for that problem you are solving, for that solution you are bringing to the table. And if you say there is nothing we can do, it means that there is no need for me to come back for repeated patronage. There is no need for me to come back for repeated patronage. So instead of telling the customer that there is nothing we can do, there is nothing I can do, this is my recommendation. Tell the customer, Mr. Inuagata, we may not be able to do the XYZ that you requested for, but this is the ABC that we can do. This makes you, it projects you in a positive light. It projects your brand as a positive brand. We may not be able to do the ABC that you require or that you requested, but this is the XYZ we can do. So instead of saying there is nothing we can do, tell the customer, we may not be able to do what you are asking for, but there is something that we can do. So always project a can-do picture before the customer, so that the customer will believe in you every time, and the customer will find it very easy to recommend you to people within their sphere of contact. Avoid such killer phrase. Then the fourth killer phrase this morning is you responding to a customer with the killer phrase, that doesn't make sense. It's a serious killer phrase. It's a killer phrase indeed. You are indirectly telling the customer that he doesn't have sense. That is what you are telling the customer. Saying that doesn't make sense to a customer is telling the customer that he doesn't have sense, she doesn't have sense. What I would recommend to you is to tell the customer, sir, ma, I think there is a little mix-up. That is more diplomatic. That is engaging soft skills to represent yourself positively, and that will project you in a positive light. The killer phrase of it, that doesn't make sense or it doesn't make sense doesn't help you in any way. Then the fifth one that I will conclude with this one, you remember we are looking at 5 killer phrases that kill customers' loyalty and how to avoid them. The fifth one is, we are currently busy, or we are busy now. We are busy now. We are busy now. We are currently busy. You see, the reason you have work to do in the first place is because of the customer. It's the customer that gave you a job to do. The reason you have money to pay that rent, to run your operational costs, to run your overhead, is because the customer comes to patronize you every now and then. And if you're actually busy, don't tell the customer we are busy now, because it's the reason you have that work to do. So what you need to do is to diplomatically appeal to the customer to say, please, sir, just sit down and make yourself comfortable. I will be with you in a moment. Instead of giving that killer phrase, we are busy now. So this is so important. This is just so important. Like I said, in the middle of this conversation, the only loyalty we see with a business that has a dominance of killer phrases is pseudo-loyalty. Pseudo loyalty is false loyalty, is shadow loyalty. A loyalty whereby people keep patronizing and engaging your services despite their displeasure with you just because they've not seen a better alternative. When they see a better alternative, they will not phone a friend, they will not use 50-50, they will not ask the audience, they will just leave. And killer phrases must be avoided if you don't want your customers to leave. This is so important. I believe that profound value have been added to you today, and it's so key that you call me. That is why my phone numbers have been on the screen. The first one is 080-6686-5060. I call it again, 080-6686-5060. The second one is equally there, is 080-529-29120. 080-529-29120. So it's so key and strategic that you call me. Let's see how we can have a more elaborate session with your team members, with your members of staff, with you, and then be able to help you build capacity and relational competency that will help you secure unending customers' loyalty. If you are watching from outside Nigeria, just add our beloved country code to the phone number +234 8066 865060. Do the same to the second line, and we'll be able to talk and take things to the next level. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. When I return, I will say, remain amiable. Inoarata no sahai. Your day is so blessed. God bless you.